this video, we are talking about VA loan assumptions if you are the buyer looking to assume a VA loan from a home on the market. What's up everybody, it's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel. If you're new to the channel, you're gonna wanna go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about living in Bremerton, so whether you are new here for the first time or maybe you've been here for a while, just wanna know more, be sure and subscribe, tap that little bell so you're notified, and you can reach out to me directly. This is my cell phone and my email. Please feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton, Washington. All right, so you are in the market to buy a house, and you're also eligible for a VA loan. So you are active duty or veteran, and you're looking to use that VA loan to purchase a house. Well, did you know that you have the option to assume someone else's VA mortgage? What that means is that a homeowner has purchased a home with their VA loan, and now their home is on the market, or maybe it's not. You can do it off market too. It's just, easier when it's on market because then you can see it easier, you find it better. So they have used their VA loan to purchase their home, and their VA loan's already in place. They've been making payments, they have their interest rate locked in and all that stuff, and you get to just assume that loan. You assume all the terms, you take over the timing. So if they have 300 payments left on their 360 payment loan, then you just assume it at the 300 mark, and that's all you pay until it's paid off. So it's kind of a cool deal. There are some tips and tricks and things that you should be aware of if you are trying to assume a VA mortgage. So if you're in the market to buy a house, you have probably been told that you need to get yourself pre-approved for a mortgage, which is absolutely 100% true. The caveat with a VA loan assumption is that you're actually not going to be using a lender that you got pre-approved with. So say you got pre-approved with one of our local lenders here, like with Summit or with Cross Country, you are actually going to get yourself approved with the current loan servicer. So the loan servicer is who the homeowner is paying their mortgage to. So whoever that is, it could be M&T Bank, it could be Freedom Mortgage, it could be Wells Fargo, whomever, right? So whoever they make their loan payments to, that is the loan servicer, and that is the company that you are going to go through for your loan assumption. So if you already are pre-approved for a purchase mortgage, then you probably already provided like your W-2s and your pay stubs and LES statements, your tax returns, your ID, your social, like all these things, right? You're gonna now take all those things and turn around and give it to the loan servicer for application on the loan assumption. So you're basically gonna have to do it again. It's okay, guys, it'll be fine. So now that you have provided all that stuff to the loan servicer and you and the seller have agreed that you are going to assume their VA mortgage, you would now execute a purchase and sale agreement just like you would for any other purchase of any other home with any other type of mortgage. All of our statewide forms are pretty standard and they cover all those bases. So you're going to have this agreed upon purchase and sale agreement, and you're also going to be provided a VA loan assumption package from the loan servicer. So whoever you have elected to represent you in your purchase will be able to do all this for you and with you. Okay, so the VA loan assumption package is going to be a detailed document. It's going to ask for every little thing that you could think of, and don't leave anything out and don't leave any lines blank. It's just like any other document in the government or the military, like it needs to be 100% complete and thorough before it will be approved. Okay, so this is usually where a lot of the time hangups happen. So when we have that loan assumption package approved, it's about 30 days from closing from that point. But if we don't get them all the documents they need and it keeps getting kicked back to us like incomplete, then that takes up more time. And so if it takes us 45 or 60 days to complete that VA loan assumption package, and then it doesn't close for another 30, well, now we're looking at like a 90-day closing. So I just want you to be aware that this isn't going to be a fast transaction like a normal purchase would be, like 30 days. It's going to be at least 30 days longer because it's going to take about a month for us to get approved and get all that VA. If you get it done in a weekend, like bless you, you're awesome, right? But if it just takes time, it just takes time. So you and the seller just need to be aware that it's going to take longer than a typical purchase. And we can fax that package back, or we can mail it, or just do both, because faxing it gets it there quicker. Snail mail will get it there as a backup method, but if they have it both ways, then at least your bases are covered. Okay, so say we got that loan assumption package buttoned up, we get it in, it's approved approved, they've reviewed it, everything looks good, and it's approved. Okay, so now we go into like a normal transaction, like it would look any other transaction. Okay, so you can have your home inspection, you can do all those things. A cool thing about assuming a VA loan is that there is no appraisal. Because the VAs are guaranteeing that loan has already been approved for that particular house, that particular structure. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel and have another appraisal for an already existing loan. So no appraisal, which means no appraisal fee. That'll save you like $1,000. And we don't have to worry about any hits on the appraisal or value considerations not coming in where we need them because it just doesn't exist. So that's a really awesome thing about a VA loan assumption. So here we are about 30 days later after that loan assumption package has been approved. So underwriting has done their thing. They give you the final stamp of approval. You are cleared to close. So now starts the paper shuffle back and forth between the loan servicer and the title and escrow companies to make sure that the settlement statement is drafted. You and the seller are now both called for your signing appointments. These are not ever really at the same time in the same place. So you'll each have your individual appointments. You sign your closing docs, and you now will own a house. Here's a really important caveat that you as the buyer absolutely 100% need to understand, okay? So, depending on how long that homeowner has owned their property, there could be a substantial difference between market value and loan amount, okay? Meaning they could have a pretty good amount of equity there, right, that they're gonna get a check at closing. So, for example, if you're buying a house for $500,000 and the loan you are assuming is only $400,000, you're not buying the house for $400,000, you're still buying it for $500,000. That $100,000 difference needs to be made up in cash as the down payment. So this is where a lot of people get kind of tripped up, because when you are a VA buyer, you're just expecting that you're going to come to the table without any money, right? It's a zero down product. Not in the case of an assumption all the time. Now, if the seller has maxed out their VA entitlement, they just bought like 6 months ago and they got orders and they gotta go, because we know that happens, right? There's not gonna be a whole lot of equity in there. So the market value and the loan amount are gonna be pretty close. So your down payment should be minimal, if anything, right? So, but just keep in mind, the longer that homeowner has owned that house, and say he's never refinanced or never taken a cash out or never taken a second mortgage or anything like that, you're gonna owe a down payment if that's the case. So it's called minimum cash on assumption, MCOA. So minimum cash on assumption is basically the difference amount between the loan amount and the market value, which is what you're purchasing the home for. A couple of other good to know ahas is that your funding fee is only half a point. So if you are purchasing a home with your VA loan as a purchase where you're not assuming the loan and you're just doing a brand new mortgage, your funding fee is 2.2% on the first purchase, the first time you use it, and then it's 3 or 3.3, I think. It goes up substantially on consecutive uses. So that gets wrapped into your loan. So that's a chunk of change, right? So being only half a point on an assumption is really good. Also, there is a VA assumption fee. It's just called an assumption fee. And I believe it's normally paid by the seller, but I'm sure it's negotiable. Max is $300. So, it's very minimal compared to like the house purchase, for example, and all the other fees and stuff that go on. And you also may have some, regular closing costs. You have title fee, escrow fee, possibly escrow fee actually, because in the contract it says that the seller is on the hook for the buyer's portion of the escrow fee. If it's a VA purchase, but since it's a VA assumption, it might look a little different. Anything like that. So your closing costs are going to be minimal as well, because you're not going to have any loan fees. The loan is already taken care of itself. It's just going to be the assumption fee of $300. But as always, if you are a disabled veteran, then your funding fee is waived, so that half a point gets knocked off anyway. So if you are a buyer eligible for a VA purchase and you want to know more about what the loan assumption looks like, be sure to reach out to me. I've used my VA loan twice now. I've used it on a single family, and I actually used it on a duplex as an investment. I'm going to be doing a whole separate video on how to use your VA loan to grow your investment portfolio, so be sure to stay tuned for that one. But if you have any questions on a VA loan assumption, please be sure to reach out to me. This is my cell phone and my email. I'll be sure to get back to you at my earliest opportunity. And if you have any ideas that you would like me to do video topics on, I'd be happy to. Just shoot it in the comments. Bye for now.